by the demonstrators.
No, Mr. Speaker, I have not said the PAC spent. I'll provide information on the issue of repairs. And you will notice in my information that some of the repairs was incurred by the PAC themselves, Mr. Speaker.
So what will substantiate is the sum of the repairs done by PAC amounted to 100 million.
Including the insurance, Old Mutual, plus their policy document that they don't cover destruction of protests.
Very well, Senator. Please provide that information by Tuesday.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. So, Mr. Speaker, I was just explaining that we need to mirror what Parliament does because county assemblies are our small brothers and sisters, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, so the issue of MCAs, Mr. Speaker, we support them. The issue of salary review, personal emoluments, we want to assure that we shall push and ensure SRC. Mr. Speaker, you remember the President had held a meeting with all the MCAs. So I hope SRC, I don't know, the chairperson of devolution, and one member, I think Senator Kalwale is here, is a member of Finance and Budget Committee. I don't know what they will do with SRC to table the recommendations that they have done on the issue of SRC salaries review and remuneration. We are not pushing that they should be increment, but they should be given capacity. Even ward officers, Mr. Speaker, as we are given liaison officers at counties. We need them, the emoluments, the issue of moving, the issue to do oversight, Mr. Speaker. And I was sad when I saw Nyamira, I chaired, and one of the part of the Nyamira County Assembly chambers. And you know, Senator Okongo Omugeni should be nice to me, because I ensured that when the chambers of Nyamira County Assembly collapsed, I have directed that through the Committee Public Works must rule, or even EACC to swing into action to ensure accountability. Mr. Speaker, the challenges counties are facing is budget performance, but this is attributed largely to delayed disbursement by the National Treasury. So we request the new CS of National Treasury to release money. The issue of impress, Mr. Speaker, we need to ensure there is proper surrender, but they are surrendering after time without interest, as per the PMF Act. The issue of ethnic composition, you find that most of the county assemblies are the conclaves, ethnic conclaves that must be relooked at. And therefore, we demand that NCIC and the county assemblies respectively should look at the composition of ethnic, staff establishment, third basic salary rule. And MCA should be told that you don't take your salary, all of it. You must obey a third principle in basic salary, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the issue of county assembly and speaker's residence, Mr. Speaker, the limit has been indicated. Let's obey to that, Mr. Speaker. The issue of bending rules, and the chair has directed that county assemblies, Mr. Speaker, should abide by the resolutions, Mr. Speaker, resolutions of the issue of pending bills. So we have transmitted as a Senate that pending bills must be sought out as soon as possible, or will we, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, on the issue of SOCAT, CAF, and COG, I want to advise the Council of Governors, County Assemblies Forum, and the table of clerks of the county assemblies to come up with a proposal to anchor them to law. The more they spend the resources, the money that are allocated to spend on something that has not been provided through the legal authority is illegal, unconstitutional, and immoral. And going into the future as a committee, we shall be referring this expenditure to EACC so that various officers can be surcharged and charged in court of law, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, on the late submission of documentation, we have noticed county assemblies have this documentation, but they continue to violate Section 65 of the Public Audit Act that recommends that any entity on the period of audit, that circle that the OAG goes, Mr. Speaker, should be given documents in time. So, Speaker, as we review the budget, I want to ask the people who allocate budget, especially us and the National Assembly, to give more resources to Office of the Auditor General. Mr. Speaker, if Auditor General was not functioning, and the biggest challenge, Mr. Speaker, and I want to say this, and you will add me a minute, is that we need to resource OAG to visit projects. Mr. Speaker, what we are getting as a committee are narratives about Garissa, about Nandi, about Kakamega. We need to empower OAG to go to Nyamira and look at the county assembly of Nyamira with the public works and give us the, Mr. Speaker. The Speaker, what I'm proposing as the chair, your colleague, the Speaker, is the chair of liaison. We need even Public Accounts Committee and PIC to be given more travel, more resources to do county visits. Because when we went to Isiolo, we are yet to visit Kakamega. Other counties, we make more impact because we are able to look at it, Mr. Speaker. When the governor of Marsabit appeared, there was an issue of a building issue. Was it the issue of fish or something? He was telling us that it has been submerged by water. So how can we verify? We need, as the county, the committee, to go and visit and look at it. When you come to Nandi, the governor, when it is in public accounts, he says new mother and baby unit of Kapsabet is complete. But I pass there every day. But if today the public accounts committee was to visit Nyamira, to visit Nandi, to visit Kakamega, to visit Karisa, and we look at the projects one by one, Mr. Speaker, we will not be entertaining such narratives, Mr. Speaker. I want to encourage the House to take a decisive action. Mr. Speaker, going into the future, just that 1 minute, Mr. Speaker.
Very well. 1 minute to conclude.
Yes. And that is why I am pushing, Mr. Speaker, let us give more funds to public accounts. Let us go to Turkana, Mr. Speaker. Turkana is a hardship area. 110 billion cannot be accounted for 10 years. Yet there is hunger in Turkana. There is insufficient water in Turkana. Irrigation projects have collapsed, Mr. Speaker. Somebody sank 200 million to build a governor's residence that does not exist. 1.5 billion was built in our headquarters, Mr. Speaker. 82 million was given to AC that is not functional. 6.5 million was made into a generator that does not exist, Mr. Speaker. And the EACC are doing nothing about it. The culprit is walking around, is in the protected area, Mr. Speaker. So we must, as a House, take a position, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I would go and on and become emotional because I feel bad, just like the senators, because we fight here to allocate money to counties. But we don't see value for that money. Mr. Speaker, with those very many remarks, to allow my colleagues, I beg to second and I thank you.
Honorable Senators, I will now propose the question that the Senate adopts the report of the Select Committee on County Public Accounts on its consideration of the report of the Auditor General on the financial statements of West Pokot County Assembly for the financial year 2018-2019 and reports of the Auditor General on the financial statements of Isiolo, Kiambu, Kitui, Marsabit, Narok, Nyamira, Trans Nzoia, West Pokot, Muranga County Assemblies for the financial year 2019-2020, laid on the table of the Senate on Thursday, 7th March 2024. Honorable Senators, you will now be making your contribution. We'll start with Senator Boni Kalwale.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the importance of this particular report is such that I was expecting the entire House to be here. We are talking about the mother of oversight. There can be no oversight without the Public Accounts Committee, without the Public Investments Committee. And therefore, Mr. Speaker, using very strong words, I want to congratulate this committee for this commendable report. Mr. Speaker, the work that this committee is doing is so sensitive and so attractive to the public that little do you miss an item in the media about the work of this committee. And Senator